welcome to TiElogues. After 2 years of lull, travel is back with a bang. And today we are speaking to Chirag Gupta of Deyor, that's a travel tech startup. Chirag, after 2 years of virtual meets, corporate retreats, and in person conferences are back in full swing. Tell us the kind of demand you are seeing coming in.
Thank you, Bushra. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, absolutely. If you look at travel all around after the pandemic, I think this is the first sector that really picked up noise, and everybody just wanted to get out of the lockdown, and everybody wanted to get out of their houses and just be on the go, right? We are also seeing that whether you talk about individual travel, family travel, honeymoon travel, or even like you mentioned, corporate travel, everybody is just looking for that escape. I think a lot of corporates really understood that during the lockdown, people were really locked in, and people needed that escape, and people needed that breather. We have actually seen a surge in demand in corporates who are coming out to us. And when I say corporates, let me first thank the startup ecosystem, right? Because they are the front runners in this corporate and incentive and this what we call MICE movement, right? Of course, when you look at MICE traditionally, it's a larger number, 800,000 people traveling across borders. But startups have started to realize the importance of people having to move out, right? Another thing that we're seeing a lot is that because there is work from home, and a lot of our colleagues are, in different parts of the country, we are seeing that there is this sense of bringing unity amongst the team. And then we say, okay, we have 20 people in Bangalore, 20 people in Mumbai. Let's bring everybody together to Rajasthan and let them all see each other. We've been interacting, virtually for so long. Let's all meet. Let's all be together for 2 days, 3 days, and see how the experience goes. We take feedback from these startups, from corporates, and they're always thinking about the next trip. They're always thinking about, okay, how can we include this within the incentive structure of the company to plan this? Us as a company itself, we are in the travel space. We ourselves, I think almost 20 to 25 people from my team in the last 6 months have been to places like Leh, Spiti Valley, Dubai, Maldives, Singapore, Turkey,
Nice.
And all of this because it's part of the incentive program that we built up at Deyor, right? So even being a travel company, we understand the incentive of travel, and then so are the other startups and other companies.
Okay, so Chirag, from which sectors are you seeing maximum demand come in?
I would say more of health tech. So any health tech and ed tech companies are the ones that are the front runners. Of course, we have some companies that are larger corporates. For example, major brands has signed up with us. They are the company that brought Tim Hortons and Victoria's Secret to India. So even they are, doing a lot of their corporate travel bookings through us. But on the larger front, we're seeing a lot of health tech and ed tech brands that are booking their holidays with us.
Okay, you mentioned about startups being the front runner here. Give us some highlights and insights into what kind of demand you are seeing in this kind of corporate travel that's happening, especially from SMEs and startups.
Yeah, absolutely. So see, for us, we are a B2C company. Our primary focus always has been digital acquisition of customers, and then making them move across India and over 15 countries globally. But then what happens is that you never realize when you're acquiring customers digitally, you're acquiring people who may be CXO levels in these startups, or they may be senior HRs in these startups and admin level people. And when they come to you and they have the experience that Deyor is actually offering to the direct consumer, it is a no-brainer for them because look, the market that we're in, the business that we're in, it's a very fragmented industry, right? Today, for any organization to go out there, trust a brand to facilitate movement of 50 or 100 people is not easy, right? That's where entry of a brand like Deyor really comes into play, right? So that kind of became an indirect acquisition entry point for a company like us, where a CXO level person travels with us, and then they recommend us and say, hey, look, why don't we take 25 more people to the destination that I went to with these guys.
So Dior is focused on experiential kind of travel experience. Can you give us an example or, tell us about your recent trip and how you make travel more interesting with the kind of experiences you build around that?
Yeah, so let me give an example of our Leh-Ladakh bike trip. It's one of these flagship tours that not many people in the country are doing. Typically, an average millennial, when they think about a Leh-Ladakh bike trip, it is an aspirational tour for them. It's a very, very demanding 12-day where there's a lot of moving parts that come along with this, right? Now, if 2 or 3 people decide to do this trip, it's next to impossible, right? And I say that because you need a bike, you need backup vehicle, you need a mechanic, because anything can go wrong on this trip,
Of
right?
course. Yeah,
You need
literally.
24/7 support. Now,
Mhm.
when a company like Deyor comes into play and we bring the experience in the travel and make it experiential travel, we have an entire team on the ground. 40 people are actually going on this 12-day trip who don't know each other. They're completely strangers, and by the end of 12 days, they're the best of friends with each other, right? Because that experience has been created of bringing these groups of one or two or three people together, making a larger group of 40 people, and telling them that let's go on this bike trip. So that's how we've been able to create a brand in that space, and now we have become a leading brand in the country where anybody thinks of a bike trip to circuits like Leh-Ladakh or Spiti Valley, the first thing that comes to their mind is Deor.
Yeah, that's great. So, Chirag, you've been associated with Thai Delhi NCR. Tell us how this has helped you in your entrepreneurial journey.
I don't know where to start. I mean, this is a conversation I could go on for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Thai is uh, the most instrumental and influential organization for any young entrepreneur to be a part of. I've actually started mentoring startups now, and I the first thing I recommend to them is that you should take a membership of Thai. So Thai journey started for us, I think, back in 2016. Right, we're in 22 now, entering 23. We have actually been part of various, I would say, institutions that Thai has created, right? For example, Thai the Not, Young Turks. We have been part of Lufthansa Runway to Success because of Thai. I have actually been part of Thai Gold mentorship where I actually got a mentor in the name of Alok sir, and which ended up in me convincing him in our business model, and him and his group of investors actually invested in our company. And if you go to any event that is held by TiE, you will end up finding the best of the best people in the startup industry, right? And if you're sitting in a corner trying to build up a startup, it's really not going to work out like that, right? You need to be out there, you need to be networking with the right people. And if a platform like TiE is offering you that, I think it's a no-brainer. For me, even today we are a registered member with TiE, right? And that's the kind of faith that I've put out in an organization like TiE, right? And hence, the startups that I'm mentoring, actually one of the first few things that comes up in the list of things that we need to do is become a member of TiE. So again, like I said, I could go on for hours, but I've paraphrased myself.
Thank you so much, Chirag. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much once again. It was a pleasure speaking to you as well. Have a good day.